Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Windward Buddhist Temple Family Dharma Service. My name is Lisa Fujikawa, and I will be your MC for this morning. We will begin with the ringing of the temple bell, or Kansho, that signifies the beginning of a temple service. It is a deep and sacred ritual steeped in ancient tradition. It is the calling of the people to come together to listen to the Dharma, or the teachings. The temple bell represents the gratitude and deep appreciation of the members, friends, and guests of the Windward Buddhist Temple. Please sit quietly in your seat. If you are able, please rise for the meditation, followed by the chanting of the Vandana Ti-Sarana by the congregation in Pali and English in the red Jodo Shinshu service book on page 7. See, I don't have to tell you to sit down. Today's sutra is Praises of the Buddha in the Jodo Shinshu Service Book on page 112.
Your face shines in great splendor, boundless, wondrous dignity, such the greatness of your light, beyond all comparison, brightness of the sun and moon, and the shining many jewels, when compared to your brilliance, seem to us like black as ink. The Gatha's countenance transcends all comparison. The great voice of awakening resounds through the 10 quarters. Your precepts, learning, effort, meditation, wisdom are virtues beyond all compare, ultimate, supreme, and rare. Your deep meditation has fathomed all the Dharma sea to the limits and the depths of all things the Buddhists teach. Ignorance, anger, and greed, the world-honored one has none. Like a lion among men, measureless your great virtue, vast are your great virtuous deeds, wisdom deep and so sublime, your radiant luminous light shakes all the world's foundations. When I become a Buddha, equal to the Dharma King, I will transcend birth and death, liberating all beings by giving disciplined mind, precepts, patience, and effort, meditation, and wisdom shall be supreme, unsurpassed. I will attain Buddhahood, everywhere fulfill my vow, bringing to all those in fear great peace and tranquility. Though there are myriad Buddhas, beyond measure, beyond count, and great sages numberless, like the grains of Ganges sands, I will honor each of them, equally accepting none, Even more importantly, I will seek the supreme way, even though all Buddha worlds are countless as Ganges sands, even though all lands and realms are boundless without measure, yet my light shall reach them all and illumine every place. Such shall be my perfect work, such my power infinite. When I attain Buddhahood, my land will be first and best, place of practice transcendent, its people sublime and rare, land equal to nirvana, beyond all comparison, with pity for everyone, I will carry all across, all who come from 10 quarters to be born into my land, to attain pure joyful mind, peace and great tranquility. Be my witness, Buddha, please confirm my sincerity. Now that I have made my vows, I will strive to fulfill them. Buddhas of the 10 quarters, with your wisdom unhindered, may all of these honored ones know my deepest intention, even though my body must bear great pain and suffering. I will persevere and strive patiently without regret. Nama, Nama, Nama,
If you are able, please rise for the recitation, Golden Chain of Love, in the Jodo Shinshu Service Book on page 126. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that what I do now depends not only on my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in the Buddha's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Please continue to stand for the Gatha Shinshu Anthem in the Praises of the Buddha book on page 147. Thank you. You may be seated. Our speaker today is Mrs. Prudence Kusano. Yay! The leader for our Dharma school and the person who organizes the intergenerational activities on our first Sundays. Prudence?
Good morning. Please place your hands in Kansho as I recite an aspiration. Nothing endures in this world. Everything changes according to karma. But, like the ocean, underneath the restless existence of countless waves, there is one boundless stillness that embraces and gives life to all the moving waves. By Kanmo Imamura. Thank you. Today, I'm going to share with you a book called The Fall of Freddie the Leaf. Okay. It's by Leo Buscaglia. It's a story of life for all ages. The book was recommended at one of the summer sessions many years ago, and I've been waiting for a chance to share it with you. So after I read the book, I will share the Dharma messages that I got out of the story. Freddie the Leaf had grown large. His midsection was wide and strong, and his 5 extensions were firm and pointed. He first appeared in spring as a small sprout on a rather large branch near the top of the tall tree. Now Freddie was surrounded by hundreds of other leaves, just like himself. So it seemed. Soon he discovered that no 2 leaves were alike, even though they were on the same branch. Alfred was the leaf next to him, Ben was the leaf to his right, and Claire was the lovely leaf overhead. They had all grown up together. They learned to dance in the spring breezes, bask lazily in the summer sun, and wash off in the cooling rain. But it was Daniel who was Freddie's best friend. He was the largest leaf on the limb and seemed to have been there before anyone else. It appeared to Freddie that Daniel was also the wisest among them. It was Daniel who told them that they were part of a tree. He explained that they were growing in a public park. He told them that the tree had strong roots which were hidden in the ground below. He explained about the birds who came to sit on their branch and sing morning songs. He talked about the moon, the stars, and the seasons. Freddie loved being a leaf. He loved his branch, his light leafy friends, his place high in the sky, the wind that jostled him, the sun rays that warmed him, the moon that covered him with soft white shadows. Summer's long, hot days felt good, and the warm nights were peaceful and dreamy. There were many people in the park that summer who sat under Freddie's tree. Daniel told him that giving shade was part of his purpose. "What's a purpose?" asked Freddie. "A reason for being," answered Daniel. "To make things more pleasant for others is a reason for being. To make shade for old people who come to escape the heat of their homes, to provide a cool place for the children to play, to fan our leaves for the picnickers who come to eat. These are all the reasons for being." Freddie's summer soon vanished, and on an October night, he had never felt so cold. All the leaves shivered with the cold. They were coated with a thin layer of white, which quickly melted them, and with the dew drenched and sparkling in the morning sun. Again, it was Daniel who explained that they had experienced their first frost, the sign that it was fall, and that winter would soon come. Almost at once, the whole tree, these were children playing, sorry. Almost at once, the whole tree, in fact, the whole park was transformed into a blaze of color. There was hardly a green leaf left. Alfred had turned a deep yellow. Ben became a bright orange. Claire had become a blazing red. Daniel a deep purple. And Freddie was red, gold, and blue. How beautiful they all looked. "Why did we turn different colors when we are all in the same tree?" asked Freddie. "Each of us is different. We have different experiences. We face the sun differently, cast shadows differently. Why should we not have different colors?" Daniel said matter-of-factly. Daniel told Freddie that this was a wonderful season called fall. One day, a strange thing happened. The same breeze that was in the past that made them dance began to push and pull at their stems almost as if they were angry. This caused some of the leaves to be torn from their branches and swept up in the wind, tossed about, and dropped softly to the ground. All the leaves became frightened. "What's happening?" they asked each other in whispers. "It's what happens in fall. It's the time for leaves to change their home. Some people call it to die," Daniel said. "Will we all die?" Freddie asked. "Yes," Daniel answered. "Everything dies, no matter how big or small, how weak or strong. We first do our job. We experience the sun and the moon, the wind and the rain. We learn to dance and to laugh. Then we die." "I won't die," said Freddie with determination. "Will you, Daniel?" "Yes," answered Daniel, "when it's my time." "When is that?" asked Freddie. "No one knows for sure," Daniel responded. Freddie noticed that the other leaves continued to fall. He thought it must be their time. Soon the tree was almost bare. "I'm afraid to die," Freddie told Daniel. "I don't know what's down there." "We all fear what we don't know, Freddie. It's natural," Daniel reassured him. "Yet you were not afraid when spring became summer. You were not afraid when summer became fall. They were natural changes. Why should you be afraid of the season of death?" "Does the tree die too?" Freddie asked. "Someday, but there is something stronger than the tree. It is life. That lasts forever, and we are all part of life." "Where will we go when we die?" "No one knows for sure. That's the great mystery. Will we return in the spring? We may not, but life will." "Then what has been the reason for all this?" Freddie continued to question. "Why were we here at all if we only have to fall and die?" Daniel answered in his matter-of-fact way. "It's been about the sun and the moon. It's been about the happy times together. It's been about the shade and the old people and the children. It's about colors in fall. It's been about season. Isn't that enough?" That afternoon, in the golden light of dusk, Daniel let go. He fell effortlessly. He seemed to smile peacefully as he fell. "Goodbye for now, Freddie," he said. Then Freddie was alone, the only leaf on the branch. The first snow fell the following morning. It was soft, white, and gentle, but it was bitter cold. Freddie found himself losing his color, becoming brittle. It was constantly cold, and the snow weighed heavily upon him. At dawn, the wind that took Freddie from his branch. As he fell, he saw the whole tree for the first time. How strong and firm it was. He was sure that it would live for a long time, and he knew that he had been a part of its life, and it made him proud. Freddie landed on a clump of snow. It somehow felt soft and even warm. In this new position, he was more comfortable than he had ever been. He closed his eyes and went and fell asleep. He did not know that spring would follow winter and that snow would melt into water. He did not know that what happened to his useless dried self would join with the water and serve to make this tree stronger. Most of all, he did not know that there, asleep in the tree and the ground, were already plants for new leaves in the spring. Oops, sorry. It's the beginning. It's not the end of the story. Just as life, it does not end, it continues. So that's the end of this story. But now I want to share with you what I learned. You know, the leaves are like our Sangha, our community, and we are all human beings, but we don't look, no two are alike. Even twins, you may physically look alike, but you're actually quite different. Two, each of us have a purpose for being. Sometimes we're not sure of what our purpose is, but as we live, our reason for being changes. Anyway, mine did. As a child, my purpose was to be obedient, to play, to go to school. As a young woman, my purpose was to become independent, to become a good citizen, have a family, be part of a Sangha. So what is your purpose? 3, although in Hawaii we do not experience the changes of seasons, as human beings we all experience the seasons of life. The spring of my life probably was from childhood until graduating from high school. You know, I was young, healthy, looking forward to what was going to be the rest of my life. Never in my dreams as a child or in my spring did I imagine that I would one day be 80 years old. Summer of my life began, I think, after graduating from college, getting a job, being truly independent, getting married, having a family. Life, I think, in my summer was warm and settled. Fall of my life started when my children grew up and started their own lives. My remaining parent passed away, and I retired after 40 years of employment. So now I am closer, or I am in the winter of my life. So as Shin Buddhist, I know that Amida Buddha has assured me a place in the Pure Land. I have never been to the Pure Land. I have never heard from anyone who went there. So, you know, like Freddie, you know, the only time I'm going to experience that is when I fall off my branch. However, I trust Amida and I look forward to finally letting go and gently float into the Pure Land. It'll be a new beginning for me. As you know, as Shin Buddhists, we just don't stay there. We got to come back, right? So we'll come back. I hope you enjoyed my story. You know, when I first heard it, I was sort of taken by how close we are to the leaves, you know, and we all have to recognize, as Buddhists, we all know we're going to die. We just don't know when. But I kind of looked at it and broke my life into seasons. And I think now, in my 80s, it's my winter. Thank you for listening. Let's put our hands together and say the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. By the way, this is the book. It's, you know, I kind of try to summarize. I'll leave it in the back if anybody wants to see it.
Thank you, Prudence. It's a good thing we live here in Hawaii, so winter is pretty mild. Please, if you are able, rise for the, oh, that's the wrong place, sorry. If you are able, please stand for the Gatha golden chain in the WBT Supplemental Service Book, the purple book, on page 55, and continue to stand for the Nembutsu in the Jodo Shinshu Service Book on page 135.
person who attains shinjing and joy, it is thought, is equal to the Tathagatas. Great shinjing is itself Buddha nature. Buddha nature is none other than Tathagata. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you for attending today's service. We will now have announcements by Dennis, our president.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Prudence. That was a fun, interesting, and almost realistic kind of message. But there's a lot of leaves that fall in my yard. Actually, all year long. Thank you, Reverend Bert. Reverend Saul couldn't make it, so Reverend Bert graciously agreed to take care of our service today. Thank you, Lisa, for being the MC. David for being a greeter. Jennifer for ringing the Kansho. Joy for playing the piano, and Ryan for recording this service. Next Sunday will be our monthly remembrance service. If you would like to remember a loved one who passed away in the month of December of any year, you may do so during this service. Please add your name to the name of your loved one on the list at the greeter's desk. And if you have a picture of the loved one, you're welcome to bring it, and we'll place it up here. Today is the last day to participate in Windward Buddhist Temple's holiday giving program that benefits Senta's workshop at Kapilani Medical Center for Women and Children. If you would like to participate and make a donation, please see Gerald immediately after the service. There will not be temple cleanup today. Instead, we'll do it after next Sunday's service and refreshments. After today's service ends, we'll take a 10-minute break before we start our annual general membership meeting. After the meeting, officers and directors for 2025 and 2026 will be installed by Reverend Bert. No refreshments will be served today. To non-members, thank you for attending, and we hope to see you next Sunday. After the officers and directors are installed, we will go to the new Muikwa restaurant to have our lunch. Parking is limited, so it's best if we carpool. So those who need rides, we'll ask you after the meeting, and we can try to share rides. Are there any other announcements? If not, this concludes our service. So thank you very much for attending. I almost did words of Thanksgiving, but thanks again, and we'll see you next week, or stay for the meeting. Thank you.